Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the housing market and getting your credit fixed so you can go buy that house. And I'm going to also uh, tell you that you're being lied to. You are being lied to by the news. I don't know why they're going to have this. They got here are some of the headlines right here. You can look them up. CBS News. Economists warn potential housing bubble is brewing. I'm gonna tell you why that's a bunch of BS. Uh, Mortgage rate soars as how housing market cools. I'm gonna tell you why that's a bunch of BS. It says here, Redfin, additional signs of trouble market appears. This is all BS, and I'm wondering if someone is in control of the news and in control of the blogs and paying these people to say this stuff, because a news story is a news story, but when you have actual uh, situations, facts from people who are going out there trying to buy a house, people who are going out there going to get financing, from people who see the whole landscape of how many people are in an area and that there is an actual housing shortage. You don't have to take my word on it. If you look it up, there is an actual housing shortage, and let me tell you the reason why. Uh, it started probably around 2014, or maybe a little bit earlier. You heard of the where people would say lived in my parents' basement. Well, kids are not doing that anymore. Kids are actually getting out and they're wanting to get apartments, they're wanting to get condos, they're wanting to get a house if they have a good enough job to get a house. And believe it or not, more younger people than the news wants to state, than anyone wants to state, are able to afford to get a house. And there are a lot of parents that are actually giving their kids, as a wedding gift, or, if they're single, their kid the down payment money to get a home. And so this stuff here, I think that they're saying this stuff so people don't take advantage of what the wealth that having a home will bring them. Like you'll see, uh, people online, like people that are actually like Grant Cardone telling people don't buy a home, and this guy is out there buying properties left and right for people to live in there, and he's even stated in previous videos that these people are charging for a house. People paying $2 and $3 and $4,000 in that area where he's buying, and I know in my area where people are buying and renting, they're paying like $1,000, $1,500 a month. And the mortgages, if the person doesn't own the home free and clear, is probably at most $400 to $500 is what they're paying. So you're telling me that it wouldn't be better for that family to buy that home and spend $400 on the mortgage and another $100 or $200 a month on the taxes and insurance? You're telling me that that would not help that family build wealth. And when they're paying on that, especially for someone who has trouble saving money, which I know a lot of the people that are watching this video, one of the hardest things for you to do is to save money. I did a little experiment with one of my employees. They were like, well, how can I save money? And I just said, you need to save $5. And remember the video I made where I was in my safe, and I said, just save $5 a week out of your check, just so you can get used to doing it. And today I asked, well, where are you at with that money? And he said he wasn't able to do it because some stuff came up for, something came up. And I was like, well, really, that's not an good excuse, because you could have saved for what you claim was coming up. You could have saved some money and put that aside, because you knew what he had told me was coming up was going to be coming up. So a house is like one of the easiest ways for people to save money. Like you're paying, but at some point you can cash out. And but they got all of these news stories, housing crash, interest rates are up. Interest rates are up, but they're still not nowhere near where they were at in 2008, 2005, 2000, 1999, 1995. For these rates are still lower than that. Yeah, the house values of houses are up, but that they can only go up because of demand. So I want to talk about the demand. We went with my son-in-law and my youngest daughter. They're looking to buy a home, and they've went around, and every place they went to either had an offer already wrote on it that was accepted, or yesterday we went to look at one, and they put in an offer. The house was for 315,000. They know how the market is, and they went in and they said $330,000. And do you know that when they turned that in, the agent uh, let their agent know there's 8 offers on this one property. 8 offers on this one property, and they gave $15,000 over what was put on the listed asking price, and they still did not get their offer accepted. So this is a bunch of BS. I know there are plenty of people out there trying to buy homes, and if you are looking at selling your home and moving to another home, you better not sell your home until you are signed, sealed, and delivered on your next home, because the market is red hot and it is not going to cool off. Now, it might cool off a little bit when they, if they try to jack the rates way up where people just can't, to try to make it where they can't afford the home. But I know of people in regular neighborhoods like mine where people are paying $600,000, $650,000 cash for a property. So there's obviously a lot of money that's floating around out there. And so this junk here, this is nothing but a way to make regular, ordinary people get passed by once again by not being able to go out there and invest in a home and be able to have this reward. Like, just think, if you would have believed the housing crash that they had before, which was only a housing crash for people who had got those liar loans. But if you got your home right and you paid on it, and right now you were looking to cash out, you would probably get double what you paid for your home, if not triple in some markets. So don't believe this. I mean, you got CBS News, you got NBC News, housing crash started. What went wrong with the housing market 2022, red flags for the house. Don't believe this stuff. uh, I just don't believe it. Don't believe it. So now let's talk about credit and getting yourself into position. Had some texture. Getting yourself into position to buy your home. First things first. First thing first. And we're going to be introducing a new product very soon, hopefully by the end of the week, where we will be able to run your credit through a scoring model that underwriters would use for being able to qualify you for a home. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to um, get your credit repaired. But if you're looking at buying a home within 90 days, I would say that you should get a pre-approval with the way that your credit is, unless you know that your credit is just destroyed. If it's destroyed, score is below 6, I would say 675, then you just need to work on your credit. And first things first, you need to get those reports, all three, and you need to go through and you need to evaluate what needs to be worked on. Some stuff may legitimately not be able to be on your credit reports. Some stuff needs to be settled. And keep this in mind: if you're going to get a house, you cannot have disputed information on your credit reports. That means that even if it's a collection and you just want to verify that this account is legitimate for them, you need to do that process a different way, not where you're disputing it on with the bureaus. You need to go directly to that furnisher and say, please send me all of the information pertaining to this account so I can make a determination if I'm going to do a settlement or if this is not legitimate to be on my credit reports. They will not usually report that dispute on your credit reports, and you can just handle that internally with them. That's if you're trying to buy a house within 90 days and your scores are, in pretty good shape. If you're not looking at buying a house within 90 days, then you go the other way where you can try to push to get as much stuff removed, but also keep in mind that you can't have any unresolved public record stuff because they're going to do a deep dive into your credit reports and they're going to look at your public records information. And if they see anything, any judgments, any stuff that's not resolved, it's going to put your approval in jeopardy. And the bad thing about it is that some of the times they will give people pre-approvals, and then when they do a deep dive with the underwriting service, they end up finding things that were not, talked about in the first pre-approval. So you want to get someone that's going to look deep into your situation because you don't want to be disappointed, especially if you're in that situation where you got to sell your house and then you're moving to another house, or you got to put that notice in for that rental, so that landlord doesn't end up penalizing you, and you got to make that transition to your new home. So like this stuff needs to be planned out. Put it down on a piece of paper and be like, hey, we're going to do this, get our credit in order. Once our credit is in order, we're going to go get a pre-approval. Or if your credit is so-so and you know you want to do this within 90 days, we're going to go get a pre-approval. And then next, we're going to make sure that they do a full underwriting as much as they can do to make sure that the chances are like almost 100% other than something that could potentially come up. But if you get your reports, you get your credit reports, full reports, not these free reports, you'll be able to know if something's going to come up, because it's going to most likely be something that's on your public records if something was to come up. And you usually know if you got something hiding and lingering. I mean, just if you're going to get this done, you're going to have to be 100% upfront and just get this job done, because this could be, a little account for 100, 200, 300, even $1,000 could be standing in the way of you owning your dream home and making hundreds of thousands of dollars when you decide to sell that dream home, or if you want to pass it down to your family, something of an asset instead of passing down debt and bills to your family members. So don't believe this housing market crash. The real estate market is in good hands. All it is that you just got a lot of people that just want to make a news cycle to scare people. I'm not going to be the one to scare you on this. There's other things that I can throw out there that'll scare you, like debt collectors buying bulks of debt, and that you need to be aware that you don't sign, don't do nothing about it so they can put the information on your credit reports, that type of stuff. But with this here, you don't got to worry about this. They're talking about, one person put on here, is there really a housing market shortage? Yes, there is. That is true. I mean, you will see vacancies on maybe apartments and stuff like that, but when you're talking about buying a home, single family homes, they don't even have enough of them built right now. Let's see here before I end. It looks like everything seems to be doing pretty good. People are claiming you shouldn't buy a home. I already told you about that. You're gonna be, no matter what, you're gonna be able to live in your home for a lot cheaper than you would pay a landlord. Also, you don't want to have somebody looking over your shoulder. When you own your home, you don't have someone looking over your shoulder. You can paint the walls whatever color you want to paint them. All right, if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video of what makes us different so you can see my 8-point validation process and my 2-phase settlement process. You need your credit reports and scores so you can get busy on this. Here, go to the website your3scores.com and grab all 3 credit reports, all 3 scores. Look them over so you can see where you're at. That's the step one of repairing your credit. That's step one of getting that new home that you want. Um, if you have debt collectors coming after you, go and grab my 3 pack of letters: cease and desist collection activities letter, statute of limitations letter, and my debt validation letter. Use the one that pertains to your situation. Statute of limitations letter is for time barred debt that's past legal statute of limitations to collect. Yes, there are debt collectors that are still trying to collect debt that you don't legally have to pay. They just do it because they don't expect you to know the laws. If you don't know the statute of limitations for collecting debt in your state, go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. Go to my blog at the bottom, click on blog, type in search statute of limitations or statute, and then you will see the statute of limitations for collecting debt in your state. Credit card debt will be in the fourth column. Regular debts will be in the first column. Written contracts will be in the first column. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you comment, post your questions, and thank you for your time.